like Jackson Dart is getting some sympathy today from an NFL legend, man. Everybody's talking about this Jackson Dart situation. The New York Giants released a statement stating that they're trying to move past it all. John Harbaugh spoke about it. And me personally, I don't think it's going to end that well for the New York Giants, man, because national media is still talking about this. The New York Post just released an article about an hour ago breaking down this whole situation, man. Let's head on over to Google, pull it up real quick. So, legendary football quarterback Boomer doubles down on calling out Abdul Carter over Jackson Dart Trump drama, man. So, Boomer Osiris isn't backing down from his Abdul Carter eruption. Now, if you guys don't know, he did erupt on his podcast yesterday when he called out Abdul Carter. And I'm telling you right now, he went on a legendary. Let's pull up this rant right now. Check it out and look and see what Boomer had to say. Let's blow it up real quick, man.
Jackson Dart wasn't political at all, but I guess people would say that since he was there, he was supporting the president, which is fine. He's allowed to do that. It's amazing how people just take what you say, and basically I was pretty harsh on Abdul Carter for a reason. And if you are around here and you're following the Giants, and you saw what Mike Kafka ended up having to do to make an example out of Abdul Carter with the way that he was acting.
Yeah,
that's part of the story. That's part of his story as a New York Giants, which was completely underwhelming. And this is a guy who was looking for number 11, because that was his college number, I guess. Then he was looking for number 56. The guy is completely clueless to what's the things that he was asking for when he first got here. And we criticized him for that as well. Just play football, man. Be your best self. Be the guy that everybody needs you to be, and be that game record that you were supposedly were at Penn State, and everybody was excited about having you here, and then you'd pull what you pulled last year on the field and in the locker room, and basically one of the reasons why a guy lost his job. So part of that was, why would you decide to embroil yourself into a social media?
So Boomer is blaming Abdul Carter for the previous coach losing his job. I don't know, but Boomer has definitely been one that has been strong with his opinions, never biting his tongue, and a lot of people don't like that.
The fight when you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing, between the two guys, it will be fine. And it will be a story when training camp starts back up, I'm sure. And next thing you know, it will be gone. And if they win, nobody's going to be talking about anything, because it's not going to be that big of a deal. But for now, it's the off season, and it's it was a shot across his quarterback's bow for no reason. Jackson.
So he doubling down, man. He said a shot across the quarterback mouth for no reason.
This was a real error on the part of Abdul Carter, not on the part of Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart was asked to do something to introduce the president of the United States. How many people get an opportunity to do something like that, regardless of who the president is? You may have hated Barack Obama. You may have hated Joe Biden. And some guys didn't want to go to the White House because they didn't like those presidents, just like other guys didn't want to go to the White House because they didn't like President Trump. But to put this out like a child on social media is ridiculous. And then when I heard, we spoke man to man. Yeah, there was only one man on that call, and
ooh, he hit him low. He's calling Abdul Carter not a man.
That was Jackson Dart. You were a man who was late to meetings. You were a man who didn't live up to your draft choice. You're a man who wanted to wear number 56. And by the way, your idol, number 56, has introduced Donald Trump numerous times. So I don't want to hear this. So he made another just boneheaded error by going to social media. This was a real error on the part of Abdul Carter.
Man.
Not on.
Boomer is cooking. Damn, dog.
And it shouldn't be. And I'm glad they all sat down, spoke about it, and said, keep it internal, boys. Do not put it on social media, because that is my issue.
Yes.
My 100% issue with Abdul Carter is he put it out there on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And now these guys are handling it like men inside the locker room. They all have a common goal. That's to win as many football games as they could or can. And this is why I was asking you, aren't all these guys together right now? How come we haven't heard anything?
Well, you just heard something.
So now we heard it. So they talked it out, and it's going to, I bet you in the long run, believe it or not, in the long run, if they win,
Yeah.
it will bring them closer together. If they lose, then that could still end up being a problem. But at the end of the day, football players care about really one thing, and that's winning football games and getting the contracts they think they deserve. And it shouldn't be, and I'm glad they all sat down, spoke about it, and said, keep it internal, boys. Do not put it on social media, because that is my issue.
Yes.
My 100% issue with Abdul Carter is he put it out there on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And now these guys are handling it like men inside the locker room. They all have a common goal. That's to win as many football games as they could or can. And this is why I was asking you, aren't all these guys together right now? How come we haven't heard anything?
Well, you just heard something.
So now we heard it. So they talked it out. And it's going to, I bet you in the long run,
Boomer ain't playing no games with ABDUL Carter, bro. And there's more clips, bro. I mean, he spoke about this for a long time on his podcast. Numerous days, bro, ripping the skin off ABDUL Carter, man. Now, Tiki Barber spoke about this earlier, too.
Like, who in the giant room said, I got a great idea. I want everybody to know that we talked about it. Now, you could say, well, it's a good thing they talked about it because they could put this minor issue aside.
Yeah.
But it brings it back into the news cycle. So I'm always curious about who leaks what and why.
Yeah,
You've been in a room. Was a player leaking this?
No, maybe this was, someone reaching out, not even reaching out, just having a regular conversation with somebody and saying, oh, yeah, Jackson did this. And then you get a follow-up question, and ultimately the details of it start to leak out or come around. But honestly, this feels like much ado about nothing again. I know that this caused a social media reaction, and bringing it back up, like addressing it, is going to create another social media reaction. But it's also just noise. Ultimately, these guys are going to get together and play football, and that's what's going to matter. And if they're good, great. If they're not, then whatever the excuse is going to be. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be this locker room was divided because of politics. We've heard this multiple times. Did we hear this about the Mets?
Yeah.
How much did we dismiss that for the Mets last year when it probably was more likely to be the case because there were veteran players who were older and had established mentalities about politics? You're talking about a young locker room and two young players who basically came into the league a year ago, creating controversy over politics. It doesn't make sense to me. And so the fact that this came back up is, to me, it's the Giants' way. I mean, I don't know who I'm using Giants as a collective. It's their way of saying, leave us alone with it.
Who leaked this?
Yeah, Doug. I don't think this situation is going to go away as bad as the Giants wanted to. They still going to talk about this, man. Get down in the comment section. Let me know y'all thoughts about this. Keep them Bills on. Till next time, man.